track has a clear wind rule in the 100 meters. The wind must be 2.0 meters per second or lower. Oslo was above that limit. So the clock looked huge, but it cannot be treated the same way as her legal 10.72 from the Paris Olympic final. That does not make the win empty. The wind helped the time, but it did not choose the winner. It did not fix Alfred's start. It did not make her stay calm. Every athlete in the field raced under the same wind. The legal record book can reject the time, but it cannot reject the way Alfred handled the race. That is why Oslo still matters. It showed her body is sharp enough to close hard. It showed her mind is calm enough to repair a bad first phase. It showed that even when the clock needs an asterisk, the result still has meaning. A legal time tells one kind of truth. A race under pressure tells another. Oslo gave Alfred the second one. Alfred's Oslo win hit harder because of the athlete behind it. She is not a new sprinter trying to borrow attention from one fast night. She is already one of the most proven women in the sport. She represents St. Lucia, and in 2024, she changed her country's sports history. At the Paris Olympics, she won the women's 100 meters in 10.72, giving St. Lucia its first Olympic medal. That race did not just make her a champion. It made her the standard every 100-meter rival had to respect. She also won Olympic silver in the 200 meters. That detail matters because Alfred is not built for only one race. The 100 meters shows her power and short speed. The 200 meters shows her strength, curve running, and ability to keep form when the race gets painful. Her personal bests explain the threat. She has run 10.72 in the 121.71 in the 200. Those are not soft numbers. They are elite marks in both sprint events. She also won world indoor gold in the 60 meters in 2024. That adds another piece to the picture. Oslo did not come out of nowhere. It came right after Alfred made a major move in Rome. At the Golden Gala, Alfred raced Melissa Jefferson-Wooden in the 200 meters. That was a serious test. Jefferson-Wooden was not just another name in the lane beside her. She had become one of the strongest sprint threats in the world, with top-level speed in both the 100 and 200 meters. After Rome, Alfred said she wanted to go faster but would take the win. She also said being healthy and stronger helped her push more in the second part of the race. That quote now feels important because Oslo showed a similar pattern in a different event. Alfred's late race strength is becoming the loudest part of her season. Rome gave her a direct win over Jefferson-Wooden in the 200. Oslo gave her a 100-meter win under pressure. Together, those results make her momentum feel real. Oslo mattered more because Alfred did not beat an empty field. Amy Hunt gave the race a real edge. Her 10.99 showed that she is moving well enough to challenge in big races. Hunt has long been seen as one of Britain's most talented sprinters, and her return to strong form makes her a name worth watching again. She did not win in Oslo, but she helped create the race. Alfred's start gave the field a small chance, and Hunt was fast enough to make that chance feel real. Zoe Hobbs also gave the result more weight. Hobbs is New Zealand's national record holder and a proven sub-11 sprinter. She has been consistent on the international circuit, and she knows how to handle elite races. That matters because some wins look bigger than they are when the field is weak. Oslo was not that. Alfred had athletes around her who could expose a bad race. Hunt had speed. Hobbs had experience. The track had pressure. The wind made the clock complicated. Alfred still handled it. That is the value of the race. It was not the deepest final she will face this season, but it was strong enough to test her. And she passed without needing her best start. The women's sprint field is too deep for Julien Alfred to relax. While Oslo bolstered her momentum, the biggest clashes remain ahead. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden is eager for a response, especially if they meet again in the 100 meters. In the 200 meters, Olympic champion Gabby Thomas and the dangerous Shericka Jackson present further challenges. Oslo was not the final word. It was a warning. Oslo proved she can win despite a messy beginning, but that mistake could be fatal against Richardson or Jefferson-Wooden in a championship final. Alfred has the medals and the marks. Now she needs the season rhythm. Her next races will reveal if the start, transition, and top speed are aligning. Julien Alfred's Oslo win was not clean enough to answer every question, but it sent a clear message. She can miss the first hit and still win the fight. Whether anyone can stop her before the closing meters arrive is the story of the coming season. Julien Alfred looked beatable in Oslo for the first few steps. The start was not clean. Amy Hunt had a real opening, and the clock later flashed a shocking 10.76. But the wind made the time complicated, and the scariest part was not the number. It was what Alfred did after falling behind. Julien Alfred came to the 2026 Oslo Diamond League with a target on her back. She was the Olympic 100-meter champion, fresh off a big 200-meter win in Rome, and every sprint fan wanted to see if her form would carry into the shorter race. At Bislett Stadium, the women's 100 meters gave that answer fast. Alfred won in 10.76 seconds. Britain's Amy Hunt finished second in 10.99. New Zealand's Zoe Hobbs took third in 11.03. On paper, that looked like a clean win. On the track, it was more tense than the final gap showed. Alfred did not explode away from the blocks. For a few seconds, Oslo looked like it might become a trap. The Olympic champion was not in full control yet, and the 100 meters does not give much time to fix anything. A weaker start can be costly because there is no extra lap to recover. There is only one straight line. But then Alfred found the gear that has become dangerous for everyone else. She built her speed and stopped the field from taking the race away. By the final meters, the chance was gone. Alfred had the win. But the massive 10.76 on the clock left the track world with a question. Was this just a wind-aided illusion, or is the Olympic champion heating up at the exact right moment? The first part of the race gave Alfred something to solve. In the 100 meters, a weaker start can be costly because every step matters. There is no long curve. There is no extra lap. There is only one straight line and one chance to get it right. That is what made the middle of the race important. Alfred did not look panicked. She did not force the race too early. Instead, she rose into her sprint and let her speed build. That matters because rushing after a poor start can tighten the body. A sprinter can lose shape, shorten steps, and waste the same power needed for the finish. Alfred kept the race together. Hunt was close enough to make the chase real. Hobbs was experienced enough to punish mistakes. The field had enough quality that Alfred could not drift through the race and still win. She had to produce. By the final third, the race had changed. Alfred was moving with more force. Hunt was still fighting, but the Olympic champion had found her rhythm. The late meters did not feel like a lucky recovery. They felt like a champion taking back control after the race tried to move without her. That is the race detail that matters most. Oslo did not show a perfect Alfred. It showed a dangerous Alfred. Perfect can win. Dangerous can win even when the start goes wrong. Here is the part fans must not get wrong. Alfred's 10.76 in Oslo was wind-assisted. That means it does not count as a legal personal best, a legal national record, or a legal time for all-time ranking lists.